Hello, everybody. If you're joining us, feel free to go unmute. Feel free to unmute yourself or and turn on the camera if you're comfortable. We will get started in a couple minutes, but I'm happy to just sort of get to know the people that are here on this call. So I recognize one name, which is Zach Will. Zach, are you on right now?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you guys?
We're doing great. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing good. Glad to have you guys with us this afternoon.
Glad to have everybody on. Thank you, Zach, for joining. I know your dad, Dave Will, proud Boston EO member.
Yes,
He's
sir.
probably been talking about this for a little while, so I'm glad he's roping you in, chip off the old block. Yeah?
Yeah, got my own little venture going.
I heard. If we have a little bit of time, we can do a little bit of sharing around that, but that's what I heard. That's awesome. The other person who joined, I see Ilan.
Yes, hello. How are you?
Hi, Ilan. Thanks for joining us today. What school do you attend?
I'm at the law school.
Which law school?
Yale Law School.
Nice. YLS, my university alma mater. What year are you at the law school?
I'm a first-year student.
Cool. Very cool. And how did you find out about this?
So honestly, I'm trying to figure out right now. I feel like I signed up for this event a couple of weeks ago, perhaps, and
Yep.
I didn't put in my calendar the source. So the reason I said the law school is because I thought it was a Yale event, but I guess not. So I'm very
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. So I know I put this in the Yale like entrepreneurship newsletter for like Sci Center.
yes, that's how I learned about it then. Okay.
Cool. All right. So I was just wondering, double check. But that's awesome. Sounds very cool that you're at the law school, but obviously this is a competition about entrepreneurship. So I'm gonna be curious to learn a little bit more about that later. But thank you for joining us, Elon.
Thank you.
And I see Phyllis has also joined us. Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, how is everyone?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
What school do you represent?
I'm Yale College.
All right. Okay. What college are you?
So I'm in Silliman. Why did I think of that? I don't know. I'm in Silliman College.
Silliman. I am JE08 myself.
JE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too bad. It's not Silliman, but
You know what? I'll accept that. No, it's not Silliman. No, it's not Silliman. I stayed in Old Campus. I was in Farnham Hall like my freshman year, and then my senior year we had Swing Space. I don't know if there's still like Swing Space. I think they finally like renovated that thing.
I don't know.
We only had 12 colleges back then. Now you have 14.
I have 14. Yes.
So a lot of changes, which I appreciate as an alum myself. Well, thank you all for joining. And I will get started with this presentation. And we are recording this. And so there are a lot of other people who registered, and we'll be sending out the recording to you and to everybody registered. But just by way of introduction, so my name is Ryan Villanueva. I am a member of the Entrepreneurs Organization, the Boston chapter. I was president this past year. Today, I am the Impact Chair, the External Engagement Chair, and the chair of the Global Student Entrepreneurship Awards, which we'll talk about in this meeting. And I'm accompanied by Sarah Cohen, our chapter manager. Sarah, do you want to say hello?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad that you guys could join us this afternoon. I am chapter manager for EO Boston. I've been with the chapter for a little over 6 years now. I'm here to support our board, support our members, therefore assist Ryan in putting on a stellar GSEA competition. And that is our intention to do for all of you. So we're looking forward to it.
Yes. And thank you, Sarah. And so I've got a presentation lined up. I'll walk through some slides and answer your questions about the competition. Just to share with you a little bit more about myself, my entrepreneurial journey. So yeah, I went to Yale as well. I graduated in 2008 at the height of the global financial crisis. And like many of my fellow classmates, I had a job lined up in finance. So I went to work at Goldman Sachs, and my job at Goldman was to make sure that the bank did not go bankrupt in a financial crisis. So I was in corporate treasury and we managed liquidity risk. So I did that for a couple of years. That was interesting time. But at the end of that, I decided I did not want to stay in Wall Street. I wanted to go back to something where I could make an impact. And the idea that I had was to take a blog that I'd started out of my Yale dorm room in my senior year, a blog about an activity that I did from high school. It got me into college, and that I did all through college, an activity called Model United Nations. And I took that blog and decided to leave Wall Street and turn a blog into a business. And over the last 10 years, that has been my entrepreneurial journey. I built a business around that. It introduced me to the Entrepreneurs Organization, which is a peer-to-peer network of over 14,000 members globally, all business owners that run a business with at least $1 million in annual sales or more. A lot of us, a lot more. And I discovered EO, and that helped me grow my business. It made a substantial impact on my own life. Frankly, it's the reason why I stayed in Boston. I was like traveling all over the world for work, and it brought me to Boston. And I've seen the impact that EO can have on me, on fellow business owners and fellow entrepreneurs, and especially on students and student entrepreneurs. And so that's what this competition is about, is we are looking for the best students who currently operate a business or have backing for a business idea, right? And, this is different from other business competitions in that it's not about the pitch. It's not about the business plan. It's about who you are as an entrepreneur. And that's what I want to talk about in this presentation. So I think everybody can kind of see my screen right now. All right. So just to give you some ideas. So EO Boston, GSEA, the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards. GSEA is a global competition for students who own and operate a business while attending college or university. And so this is a global competition. So it's a pretty big deal. And I'll show you a video about that in a second. It's at different stages, different levels. So at the global level is like the biggest deal. Pre-COVID, we were flying people out. Like this past year, we were supposed to fly everybody out to like South Africa for the global competition. The top winner gets $25,000 cash and like other awards that total up to $40,000. Other competitors will win various awards. It's hosted by EO. It actually started in, I believe it's St. Louis, Missouri, if I'm not mistaken. And then it's been adopted by EO, which is a global organization of 14,000 members. And so this presentation and what I'm doing, what Sarah's doing, we're hosting the local competition. So for local, I mean Boston and I mean New England, which is why I thought to reach out to my alma mater and get people signed up for this. And the key date, if you walk away with anything, the key date is November 19th. And it is a virtual event. So you don't need to travel anywhere. You'll be able to dial in, do everything you need to do from there. And and I'll show you a little bit more about the qualifications for it, the application process. But first, here's what GSEA looks like at the global level.
Being an entrepreneur can be exciting and challenging, and you start to realize that no matter where you are in the world, being an entrepreneur has so many similarities. It's the way we look at life.
So if you're a social innovator, you have to solve problems in your community. That's why I'm an entrepreneur.
Being an entrepreneur is my lifelong dream, and I always wanted to innovate and bring changes to the society.
Education is the path to change poverty, inclusion and accessibility to people with physical disabilities.
Big data for good.
Rural agricultural accelerators, feeding the future.
The high cost of electricity.
Mass pollution is destroying our planet. I want to be part of the change.
There are highs and lows to entrepreneurship. Build the life that you want to build.
Hello, millennials. Congratulations on making it this far. You are the top student entrepreneurs in your countries. Each room will have one finalist going forward. Entrepreneurs from around the world coming in and watching you. No pressure.
All right, so I'll just pause there. No pressure. Pretty cool hype video, I will say. Although I laughed when he was like, "Hello, millennials." It's like, okay, yes, thank you. For me, what's really cool is you can see like how global the competition is. Like literally people flying in from all over the world, and they're giving little snapshots of like what they did. Somebody said like big data for good. What I think is pretty cool about GSEA as an entrepreneur and as a member and observing GSEA is that I think the student entrepreneurs who join this, like they're much more like, frankly, like socially oriented and sustainable than like most of us as EO members. And I think we as EO members who are for the most part older, right? We look at this student entrepreneurship program and like, yeah, this is not just the future, but it's like, this is now, right? This is where entrepreneurship really is going. So I think it's pretty cool. And that's why I'm excited to help host this competition. So for you as students, like some of the benefits of like participating in GSEA, you will, through this process, if you sign up and commit to it, you learn from EO members. So you learn from us, you learn from, you know, fellow like business owners who've all been running our businesses for like at least 1 decade, if not more, and how we built our business. And maybe there's some takeaways, some lessons from that, potential mentors that you can find, building your entrepreneurship skills. So you'll kind of find out about how like EO members and how entrepreneurs like think about how to build a business and what are the skills necessary for that. You'll learn more about EO. So yeah, if you really want to take your business to the next level, like that's what did it for me. I don't know if any of you are actually doing like an entrepreneurship program or business program at your respective schools. So I see Zach, you're at UConn, which is awesome. I will say at Yale, like we didn't have accounting, you know, like as a course. Like Yale was never, in my experience, not about the hard skills. It was a lot of the soft skills, which were great, right? How to think. But, you know, as soon as I went to work for a bank, I need to learn how Excel works and like PowerPoint presentations. I think this program is a great supplement to the educations that you're getting at your respective schools. And this is, again, what we'll take like from whatever you're seeing in school, meet with with EO members who are like doing this in practice. And then obviously there's the prizes. So we got $25,000 cash prize at the global level. So whoever makes it to that level. And then at the local level, I'm happy to share that we will share cash prizes at the local level as well, starting with $1,000 for first place and $500 for second place. And to give you, you know, I can see some of you crunching the numbers of like, well, what's the percentage chance of winning that? Just to give you an idea, like last year we had, what, Sarah, maybe like 6 competitors? 5, 6 competitors. All right. So if this were like an even shot and, you know, there was only like 5 of you, that's a 20% chance right there to at least be in the money, 40% to be in the money. But obviously this is about more than the money, right? But we definitely want to like incentivize and reward the people who are applying to this. Any questions about like what GSEA is and like why even do this before I go into like, all right, how are you going to do this? Any questions there? If you're, there's only like 6 of us so on live right now. So feel free to go off mute. Yeah, Zach, what's your question there?
Yeah, like I like the question that you suggested. Why are you guys doing this for like college students and stuff?
Oh, thank you. Excellent question. Motivation. So thank you. No, seriously. So for one is EO, like we really do have a culture on like giving back. It's like when, you know, not to say that we've all like made it, right? All of us want to grow our businesses and grow, but you make it to a certain level and it's like, it's about more than frankly, like money and profit. Like you really do want to create community and you want to create value for other people. And so there's that kind of like, I think external motivation. There's an intrinsic motivation too. I think EO members are inspired straight up by like meeting with students. Like seriously, like the students who pitch at GSEA, I think a lot of us look at that and be like, wow, that's a way cooler idea than what I'm currently doing. And so we're inspired to see this. And the third thing I will say on a very practical level, like EO, I should have said this, is a nonprofit. So we're a nonprofit, right? We all join, we all pay membership dues to like be part of this. It's very volunteer driven. So we're creating value for one another. And a big value for GSEA to the organization is the member engagement, right? So like members, we want to engage our members. This program does it. And so that's why it's a win-win-win for everybody. And who knows, you know, maybe maybe some of you, last thing I'll say, and actually this is probably a good intro. Students go from GSEA and join EO. They
Really?
like become EO members. Oh yeah, totally. Last year's GSEA chair, Dan Marks, if I remember correctly, actually he competed in GSEA himself. And I believe I'm joined by a fellow member. Is that Tyler? Tyler Bray, hello. Tyler, do you want to say hello really quick? Introduce yourself.
I was just chatting with him. He may have had to step away really quickly.
Okay, no problem. Hey, Tyler, good to see you. Thanks for joining our call. Tyler is a fellow EO member who's joining us, who's been involved with GSEA in the past. Cool. Thank you, Zach, for the question. Any other questions from Phyllis or Ilan? All right. Then let's keep moving. So here's how. So this is the what and the why of GSEA. Here's how it's going to work, and here's the key dates you need to be aware of. All right. So so we're done with September.
Yeah, sorry about that. As soon as you asked me a question, my Zoom decided to poop on itself.
No problem. Tyler, do you want to introduce yourself really quick?
Yeah, so my name is Tyler Bray. I'm 22, and I've been part of EO, I believe, for over a year now. I recently just joined Babson, so it's my second semester here, and I'm just checking it out kind of on the student end. Quite honestly, I was actually a GSEA judge for the Houston chapter last year. And so it's kind of cool to be on this side of things. And just to the other members listening in on this, it's always a great experience for EO members to definitely be able to see and give back to the community. You know, students are the next generation of entrepreneurs, our next generation of EO members. So I think it's amazing. This is one of my favorite programs that we have at EO.
That's awesome. Thank you, Tyler. And that's freaking incredible. You're like still, you know, in university and you're an EO member. That's awesome. So thank you for joining us, Tyler. Okay, so here's how to get involved. So obviously we're doing our GSEA open house like here now. We're kind of here. For application, we have an application here. The deadline to apply is October 19th. So what day is it today? October 14th. So you got 5 days, still 5 days to apply. I'll show you the link in a moment. So you'll apply, we'll get you onboarded, we'll get you started. And then the actual competition date is November 19th. And so that'll all be held on Zoom. It's all virtual. It's blocked out in the afternoon. Sarah will have the exact time for you. But the key action item for you here is if you think that this is anything that you want to participate, you want to compete in, just apply by October 19th. Here's the qualifications for applying. So you got to be actively enrolled in university college. You need to have been operating the business already for 6 months. The business needs to have generated at least $500 in sales and revenue, or have $1,000 in backing, just so you, like, I'm not going to audit your financials. So I'm just going to let you know that, right? So we're kind of just going off of what you believe you've generated in revenue and investment backing. So I don't need to see your QuickBooks or FreshBooks or anything like that. Both undergrads and graduate students are eligible. So hello, law school. So a grad student is totally fine. You can't be older than 30. So you need to be under 30. And yeah, high school students and pre-revenue businesses are not eligible. So I don't know if any of you are like doing like venture-backed, like tech startup stuff that if it's generated at least $500 and has backing, then actually that would totally qualify. But if you're still in the ideation stage, then there's not the right competition. So the last thing I'll say is that, so these are the qualifications. When you get to the actual competition, the judging, so like the scoring rubric and everything that the judges use, as I laid out at the beginning, the rubric is very much based on how the judges believe you are as an entrepreneur and how well do you reflect the core values of EO. So pro tip, like core values is not a buzzword. That's a page like on EO. It's something that we all kind of learn as EO members. So if you're strategizing for the competition, you might want to look that up. We're kind of evaluating you more on that. And then in addition, it's like, all right, how well do they know their business, their market, the plan for building it, mentors who are involved, et cetera, right? So the business planning, like that's important. The quality of the pitch is important. But looking at the scoring rubric, like a lot of it was like, who is the student and do they live up to EO's core values as an entrepreneur? So that's kind of a pro tip. Nobody else, if people don't make it to the rest of this recording because they didn't get to this thing, then they're missing out. So if you guys like stayed on, like you have an edge like right here. That's what I would say. And it's a pretty short presentation. It's like a 5-minute pitch followed by like Q&A. We'll have the specific format sent out before the competition, but it's a pretty short pitch. And depending on the number of students, again, last year we had like 6, but if this year we get a lot more, then we'll have a different format for how to do that. Key thing is, again, apply by October 19th, and the application form is this link. So we will send this out along with the Zoom recording. So Sarah, if we can send out this link along with the Zoom recording. And the application looks like this. So all you need is, I need your email, I need your name, phone number, birth date, the school, name of your business. This is where you enter your business revenue. Give us a very short description of the business. This is, I just need something to know what the business is. And I need you to make these attestations and sign by typing your name below. And as soon as you hit that submit button, then you're in. Questions?
Yeah, I got a question real quick. I may have missed this, but is the majority of this going to be virtual? How much of it is in person?
Yeah, 100% virtual.
100%. So even at the global level?
Ooh, sorry. At the local level, it's definitely 100% virtual. At the global level, Sarah and I were just checking in on this. Our assumption is this thing's going to be virtual like all the way through, because who the heck knows what's going to happen in 2021. I don't actually have the final word on that though. So I don't know if they're going to try. It's just highly doubtful. Like none of the EO conferences have been like scheduled for 21. So
I did just hear back from our contact at Global that and most likely everything is going to be virtual, but they will have, they're looking for confirmation by the end of next month from the Global Committee.
Yeah. So don't worry, Tyler. At some point, the EO conferences will come back. You'll be able to join us for NERV, for the Global Leadership Conference. So for all the students listening in, like, yeah, as EO members, we get to go to a lot of pretty cool like conferences and parties, frankly, but a lot of learning about entrepreneurship skills, very important, and networking. Other questions? Zach, any questions, Zach? No? Good. I see Phyllis. Phyllis is on. You have questions for us, Phyllis?
Yes. Can you become just like a general EO member, or do you have to go through the competition first? Sorry, I might have missed that.
No. So it's totally separate. If you are a human being with a business that qualifies, so starting with $1 million in annual sales, but there are other ways to qualify, including if you have enough venture backing. So I think like $2 million in like backing. Then those are other ways. There are other ways to join. Also nonprofits actually. So you can be someone who runs a nonprofit with at least $1 million annual budget, and you can actually join. So there's that for us as members. We have actually another program called Accelerator. So that's what I actually started with. If you have $250,000 in sales, but not $1 million, you can actually join the Accelerator program. So that's another good way to join EO. And again, you just need to be a human being. You don't kind of care if you're a student or not. I think you do need to be an adult though, like at least 18. And then there's the student entrepreneurship program, which is like $500 in sales. And obviously for students.
Great, thank you.
Phyllis, do you qualify under any of those categories already?
Definitely not the membership qualification, but I'm working towards it.
That's awesome. And this is what I would offer to you and like anybody on this call. If you just want to talk like entrepreneurship, if you have questions about GSEA, if you have questions about EO, or if you have questions about building your business, please don't hesitate to reach out to me personally. So Sarah will include my email in the email that goes out to like everybody. I'm happy to just schedule some time just to talk through people's businesses because I love this. I love entrepreneurship. And I really do believe that entrepreneurs are needed to solve the world's biggest problems. And that's what I'm all about. Cool. Thank you, Phyllis. Zach, any final questions? Tyler, any final questions?
Go through your introduction. Like, do we know who you are, or like what business do you run?
Yeah. Yeah, so my business is called Best Delegate Model United Nations. We are the leading K-12 education company for teaching students about the world's biggest problems and what we need to do to solve them. And before COVID, I was running summer camps at Harvard, Georgetown, UCLA, UC Berkeley, just all over the country. I consult for the United Nations. I consult for national governments, school districts, foundations on how to design these education programs. And now I do it all virtually. And that business started as a blog that I launched from my dorm room in my senior year of college. So I too was a student entrepreneur. And Tyler, I'm happy to connect with you offline as well. I'd love to get to know your story too.
Sure, definitely.
Great. Sarah, is there anything we missed?
As always, Ryan, I think that you covered it all. Like you said, I will follow up with the recording of this and the link to our application. And if you guys have any questions, I know that sometimes it takes a little while for things to saute. So if you have any questions after this meeting, feel free to shoot myself or Ryan an email, and we're happy to walk you through the process. Otherwise, I hope that we get each of your applications in, and going through the competition is a really great experience. So I hope that you choose to do that.
Okay, sweet. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for your time. Zach, say hi to your dad for us. Thank you. Phyllis, enjoy a milkshake at Yorkside for me, please. Or, one of the staples around there. Thank you, Phyllis. Yeah. And Tyler, I'd love to connect.
I shot you that LinkedIn.
Okay, sweet.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Great.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll
Thanks,
tell
everyone.
my dad you said hi.
All right. Thanks, Zach.
Thanks
Have
so
a great
much.
night,
Bye.
everybody.
All right. See you, Zach. All right. Hey, Sarah. I think we can start.